Hassan Abdus, founder of the HBCU Scholarship Ride.
So, what inspired you to create the ride?
I think what inspired me to create the ride was a friend of mine called me up one day. Actually, my brother from college called me up one day and said his niece needed money. She was running out of money. Um, and she was at Howard University in Washington. And I remember it happening to me. And that's why I didn't finish running out of money. So I decided to. I've always ridden bikes and rode bikes all my life, but never that distance. So I always wanted to ride a bike that distance and wanted to help her. So it kind of came into why don't we ride a bike down there and see how much we can get people to donate. And it it grew and it just was born into this little bike movement we have going on. So that's kind of how it started in 2020, just saying, hey, we can do a little bit more for this young lady. And we ended up raising like $7,000 for her, and she ended up completing Howard.
Well, I was looking at the GoFundMe you created for this year, and you got over $100,000. How does it feel that people are looking at your mission and wanting to help?
Nah, it feels good. It really feels good that it's able to connect with so many people, and I think it's gonna be able to grow and connect with a lot more people. And it just gives you a feeling that there's hope out there in the world that people want to see other people win. You know what I mean? Because we always paint this world as a ugly place and it's all about me and you know, when you see that other people are out here pushing for you and wanting to see you succeed, I think it gives us a little bit of hope for the people who do see the ride and contribute. And I think a lot of people love seeing, like, after a lot of my friends and family contribute, they watch it and they say, Hash, you up to such and such, or this happened, or somebody donated. Like this year, we got a big donation from the basketball star Kyrie Irving. So that was, I was riding my bike when it happened, and a lot of people were like texting me, and it just showed me that people were watching this thing as much as I watch it because before we get to our goal, I probably look at it every 5 minutes. I'm refreshing, refreshing,
And
refreshing. So yeah.
you just had the 2023 ride. How did that go?
The 2023 route went good. I mean, it was stressful because you're riding, you're trying to raise money, so you're trying to go live, and you out there in the heat, so it's hot. And sometimes we might get lost or taken off the path. So this ride was a lot more challenging than the past three because going into the ride for the past three, this is the fourth year. So the other 3 years, we raised the money before we started the ride. So everything was like gravy. This year, we were 40,000 short going into the ride, or I think $32,000 short going into the ride. So that was a lot of ground to cover. So this ride was a lot more stressful than the other three.
And when I was researching you, I saw videos of you biking, hiking, and all that. How does all that stuff help your mental health?
I think it helps a lot. I think in communities of color, Black communities in particular, uh, being active is something I didn't see my parents do because it was just the fact that they didn't have time to bike and hike and do all of these things. They were so busy raising kids and trying to scrape ends together and just to meet the bare requirements of us living that for us now, a lot of our generation, we might, have kids that might be older now, have a little bit of disposable income. So we could buy bikes, we can go hiking, we can do all of these things that my parents, I'm not going to say all of our parents, and speaking of monolith, but I'm going to say my parents and a lot of people that I knew grew up with parents just didn't have the resources to do the things that we're doing now. So, it really speaks to, and then COVID had a lot to do with people buying bikes, being outdoors, hiking and biking. So it's a lot of groups, especially with people of color, that we've partnered with, like independent hiking cyclists, outdoors on purpose, or both hiking groups that folks go out here into the woods and hike and finding little jewels in the areas that we live in. So it just speaks to folks being outdoors now and claiming those spaces.
What are some of the things that you've heard from people you've helped with the scholarships?
I hear. I mean, we're in constant contact with the kids. So it's for anybody out there who gave, who's listening. We just don't give your money and just send the kids off. So we're literally, I can go through my phone right now and I have, a scholarship recipient saying, "Hey, my mom wants a shirt," or "Hey, how can I help it?" Hey, you know what I mean? So it's not just one and done. We get this money and we push them off and we find the next batch of kids. We're really looking to form a village. So one of our kids, a 2021 recipient, she's an active part of our organization now. She does our social media and student engagement. So that's what we kind of want to do. We kind of want to build a family and a network of people that help this movement sustain itself and grow. So we're in constant contact, some more than others, but you're going to have that. If you have 15 students, you're going to be five of them are going to stay close. And if we can just keep growing in that fashion, we'll be good.
What do HBCU schools mean to you?
Um, they mean to me, I went to Howard. It means that I was able to operate in a safe space, in a nurturing space, not meaning that people babied you or something like that or pushed you along, but it was a safe space to intellectually grow and be with other people, like minded people. It's one thing when I used to go visit my friends on whatever campus, it might be Seton Hall that we went to go visit friends, or Rutgers. We were immediately ID'd and what are you doing here? Are you here? And why are you in the cafeteria? And all of these type of questions. Like, was I was reading an article in think it was New York Times about this kid going to Columbia, and he had been stopped like three times while he was running across campus for class. And going to HBCUs is just, I feel, a very nurturing place for intellectually that you can grow and just find yourself amongst people that understand, and you're not the smartest black kid in the class, or you're not the one when somebody starts talking about African American contributions, the whole class turns around and looks at you. You know what I mean? It's kind of a place where just where you can be who you are and be yourself and given time to grow and understand yourself. There's a lot of kids in college, they don't have that understanding of who they are. And to go to HBCUs, I think you're given that room to breathe. You know what I mean? So I think it is they are important. They have been important and they will always be important. You know what I mean? They produce so many of our doctors and attorneys and only have 13% of the black student population. The other 87% go to traditional PWIs, but to have only 13% and produce all of these great people, it's incredible. So I think that's mainly what it means to me. Is it's just that I know those places and the folks coming out of those places are gonna do great things. That's what it just means, that we're gonna push, folks forward.
What advice would you give any students trying to take the next level in college?
Um, the main thing is it's okay to not be sure about what you want to do. A lot of kids are 17 and 18 and they think that they have to have the whole world mapped out. It's okay not to know. It's okay to discover new things. It's okay you don't know who you are. I'm not the same person at 17 that I am now at 49. I don't know if I wanted to be that person. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
So
not. For me
definitely not.
too. Yes.
Exactly. So I would say so much is to figure out what you like. Community college is okay. It's okay to not spend $1 million trying to figure a problem out. Maybe by junior, senior year, you have it. Some kids know exactly what they want to do. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a architect. I want to be a doctor. I want to be this. I want to be a teacher. Some kids know that. And kudos to those kids, but some kids don't. Some kids have to figure it out. I know a young lady who had, went to school for engineering and was working as an engineer and decided she didn't like it. And she went off to become an attorney. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know at that age. You know what people push you towards, and you know what makes your parents smile when you say it. As soon as a kid says, "Oh, I want to be a doctor," they know their parents, that's going to get that reaction of, you know, everybody's like, "Oh, she wants to become a doctor. He wants to do this." But what do you really want to do? What makes you happy? So I would say to children, and not in an idealistic, crazy way, but find out what makes you happy. Find out what brings you joy. Find out what you want to do, whether it's starting a business, whether it's working for somebody, whether it's teaching, whether it's helping people, whatever that is. It's something that's a niche out there for you, and you can be happy doing it. So that was my thing. Not necessarily going for the big money, like figuring out, oh, I want this money, because you spend a lot of your time chasing that dream of being a millionaire, billionaire, or something, and you waste a lot of time with finding little things that make you happy that $1 million was going to do. Maybe that $1 million was going to buy you a yacht, but maybe you could have sailed around the world. I don't know, without that yacht. Anything, but figure out what makes you happy. Go for it. You know what I'm saying? And be a decent human being in the process, because I think that a lot of children are taught we have to step on people, we have to exploit people to be happy, we have to maximize profits, and these things make us great and make us these successful business people. And you don't have to do that. You can actually be a service to people and help people, and brings you that same fulfillment, that same joy as other things. So that would be my main advice to people. Find your happiness, find your medium, find out what brings you joy, and go for it.
I know for me, I went back to college when I was 27, and that was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I went back. I'm 49. I went back when I was 46, and I'm still in school. I take one class here to maybe. Well, this year I should be graduating, but it's what you want to do. And then I'm actually in school for things, public administration. So I'm actually in school for things that I'm doing. So I'm learning about how to run nonprofits and grants and these things now. So it makes a lot more sense. And I was thinking, if I was in school at 21 learning all of these same things, would it have made sense to me?
Yeah.
Would I have been able to utilize that? And 90%, no, I wouldn't have, because I wouldn't have had an understanding that this was something that I wanted to do. So school actually should be a lot easier for adults to get back in, and adult learning and things like
Yeah.
that, and furthering your education, or continuing education, should be a lot easier and a lot less expensive. People shouldn't go broke trying to go to
Yeah.
school, and that's kind of what this ride is about, making sure that kids aren't in complete debt when they graduate. $200,000 in debt, $300,000. Some people are $300,000 in debt, which is crazy. But
What
yeah,
are what are some of the things that motivate you?
um, I think the main motivation for me is not wanting kids to feel and go through the same thing that I went through. That's my main motivation. Trying to like not almost it's almost like recorrecting history like with kids. It's almost like the butterfly effect, but better because it's not me. I'm actually helping other people, avoid the same mistakes and pitfalls and things that I went through, and not having a clear understanding of my purpose and why I'm in school and things like that, and a lot of financial pitfalls that kids get caught into. So that's what drives me, being able to actually help kids and see kids graduate. That's like a big motivating factor, that they're doing this thing that at my age I gave up on or thought it was impossible or just, shrugged it off. But seeing kids actually complete that journey.
Where do you want to see the ride in the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
That's an easy one. 3 to 5 years raising, ultimately, before we expanded out of Essex County, I want to raise $1.7 million. So that's a specific number. And we had 34 kids in 2021 from Newark Public Schools go to HBCUs. Just Newark Public Schools, not charter or private. It was a lot
Yeah.
more. But Newark Public Schools, it was 34 kids. So I figured if we could raise 50,000 per kid, it's like 1.7 million. We could send each of those kids to school for free. So that's my goal, sending kids to because HBCUs, they have less resources, therefore they have less money to give. So if a kid is coming from Newark and I could go to Rutgers or Howard, most likely I'm going to choose Rutgers because Rutgers is going to give me a lot more money. Now, I might get more bang for my buck at Howard, but I don't have the money to make that choice. So I want to eliminate that. So if I know that a kid from North wants to be an engineer, an African American kid from North wants to be an engineer, I know by sending him to North Carolina A&T, he has a better chance of graduating than going to MIT. That's just how it is. That's the facts. So we want to be able to send him to North Carolina A&T. We want to make sure we increase his chances of graduating by sending him to one of these schools. Now, we have a great engineering school in Newark, NJIT. I love it. Let's send more of our kids there if they could pay less. I'm advocating whatever makes financial sense for you.
Yeah.
I just want to eliminate that part of HBCUs, that I don't have the money to go. If that's where you want to go, we want to be able to send you. If you want to stay in state, stay in state. If you want zero debt, then let's get you to that point.
How can people reach out and learn more?
Oh, HBCUscholarshipride.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram at HBCU Scholarship Ride, or Facebook, or Google us, or you can do any of those things, and you can reach out and follow us. And the main thing is donate. You know what I mean? We need, right now we're 100% volunteers. So if you donate 97 cents of your dollar goes back to the youth. We do have some cost of the ride, obviously. Food and hotels do cost, but we're always looking for sponsors for that. So if you know of any, send them our way. But yes, you can always reach us through those things. We're very active on all social media platforms, and definitely through our website.